Hi, my name is Trish Hughes-Kreis, and this is another installment for the Assisted Living Directory Ask the Expert series. Now, I don't always feel like an expert as a caregiver. I have a lot of years under my belt, but I don't feel like an expert. But I do like to help other caregivers. So what I do feel like an expert in is when I need a break, when I need respite. And so what I'd like to help you do is recognize the signs of when you might need respite as a caregiver. There are several signs that you can watch out for. As a caregiver, we are always on top of things. So one of the first signs is if you make a mistake. And those mistakes probably are simple, but they could turn into something more serious. So you want to make sure that you are sharp and on the top of your game, and sometimes that means taking a respite. So one sign would be making mistakes, whether it's missing an appointment or forgetting to refill some medications or forgetting to order some supplies. That's one clue that you might need to take a break and might need a little respite. Another one is impatience, and this is my specialty. So when, as a caregiver, we do have to be very patient. We have to wait for doctors because they're always running late. They have crises to take care of, and the people sitting in the lobby are usually the ones who are waiting around because of those crises. So we have to be patient at the pharmacy when they mix up our meds or they haven't filled them when they're supposed to. There could be all kinds of reasons why a caregiver needs to be patient. And what I find is I need to have a lot of patience with my brother Robert, who I care for, and he's on a completely different speed than I am. He's very slow, takes his time with everything. 2-hour dinners. I mean, it's pretty slow. And when I find myself getting impatient with him and snippy, then I need to take a step back and realize, okay, somebody needs respite and it's me. So that is another sign that you might need some respite. Just keep that in mind. A third reason you might need respite is something that is completely out of your control. And if you have an illness yourself, that might be a time that you need to arrange for respite care for your caree. It can sometimes just creep up on you. Perhaps you have a gallbladder problem, or I've known someone that needed heart surgery herself while she was caring for someone else. So you just keep that in mind and make sure that you do have a respite plan. In another video, we'll talk about that. But that is a reason why you might need respite, is if you yourself are sick. Another thing that caregivers may not recognize right away is if they're depressed or lonely. And if you can't remember the last time you had an adult conversation with someone who is not sick, and or your husband, if you haven't gone out to dinner with him in a long time, that might be an indication that you might need respite. And respite doesn't have to be weeks on end. We'll talk about that in the next video, but that could be an indication. If you're depressed, if you're lonely, it might be time for a break. It is difficult to get a break, but we will address that. Another, which actually leads me into me time. That is, respite to me doesn't mean going away or necessarily finding another place for your caree for a short period of time. It can sometimes just mean I need a break and I need an hour to myself. I need to re-nourish my soul and what makes me happy. And if that's watching a movie in a different room, or reading a book, or writing, or doing painting. I know a lovely caregiver who creates beautiful works of art, and she does that to feed her soul. So don't think of that me time as a luxury. It certainly is, but it has to be a necessity. And I will, again, we're going to talk about how to get these things in the next video, because you certainly deserve to have some respite. I want you to recognize the signs of respite, and we're going to get you some respite. Okay? Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye-bye.